Miss Salzak here, and today I'm going to read a great story. Some of you may have read it before, some of your parents may have even read it before, but it's a really good story and it has a really good lesson to learn, and it's called Interrupting Chicken. Do y'all know what it means to interrupt? A lot of us do. Interrupt means to speak while someone else is speaking. And is interrupting a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think? Usually it's a not nice thing to do, right? Because usually when someone's speaking, it's only polite and good to let them finish speaking before you say what you have to say. I think we hear about this all the time at school, right? When a teacher is talking, you should not talk, you should not interrupt, because usually a teacher is trying to tell you something super important or teach you how to do something or teaching you about a subject. And it's not nice to interrupt them, because then not only do you not hear what the teacher is saying anymore, but all your friends in the classroom can't hear either, and they can't learn the lesson the teacher is trying to teach. So interrupting is often not a great thing. There might be some good times to interrupt. The only time I can think of, what do you think might be a good time to interrupt? Maybe when someone's saying something not so nice. They're not being kind to somebody and you hear that happening, maybe that's a good time to interrupt and to talk over them and say, hey, that's not a nice thing to say, let's not talk about that anymore. That might be a good time to interrupt. But a lot of the time interrupting is kind of rude. It's not something nice to do. And we'll find in this book, Interrupting Chicken, we'll see that the chicken does have her reasons for interrupting, but I'll let you decide whether they are good reasons or not. So, in this book, Little Red Chicken is ready to go to bed. It is bedtime. And what's the best thing we do at bedtime? Tell bedtime stories. Yes. So her papa wants to tell her a bedtime story. But every time he starts a story, she interrupts. And she gives a new ending to the story. So papa can never ever finish the story. And Little Chicken just won't go to sleep. So her interrupting is ruining the bedtime stories, and it's also keeping her awake. So, but to her, she has a good reason for interrupting. So again, like I said, let's find out if you agree with her reasons. And today I'm using the app called Novel Effect that makes sound effects while I read. I've done that with a few of your classes before, and it's really cool, and I think it's working pretty well on the video. So I won't interrupt the story like I usually do sometimes to chat about what's happening so far. I'll just talk to you at the end of it because I don't want to ruin the sound effects. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. But here we go. Here's Interrupting Chicken. Interrupting Chicken. By David Ezra Stein. It was bedtime for the little red chicken. Okay, my little chicken, said Papa. Are you all ready to go to sleep? Yes, Papa, but you forgot something. What's that? Asked Papa. A bedtime story. All right, said Papa. I'll read you one of your favorites. And of course, you are not going to interrupt the story tonight, are you? Oh no, Papa, I'll be good. Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel were very hungry. Deep in the woods, they found a house made of candy. Nibble, nibble, nibble. They began to eat the house until the old woman who lived there came out and said, "What lovely children! Why don't you come inside?" They were just about to follow her when out jumped a little red chicken. And she said, "Don't go in, she's a witch." So Hansel and Gretel didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa. You interrupted the story. Try not to get so involved. I'm sorry, Papa, but she really was a witch. Well, you're supposed to be relaxing so you can fall asleep. Let's try another story. I'll be good. Little Red Riding Hood. Take this basket of goodies to Grandma, said Little Red Riding Hood's mother. Don't stray from the path. The woods are full of danger. Red Riding Hood skipped along through the deep woods. By and by she met a wolf who wished her good morning. She was about to answer him when out jumped a little red chicken, and she said, "Don't talk to strangers." So Little Red Riding Hood didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa. You did it again. You interrupted 2 stories, and you're not even sleepy. I know, Papa. I'm sorry, but he was a mean old wolf. Yes, now get back into bed. Okay, Papa, let's try one more little story, and I'll be good. Chicken Little. Chicken Little was hit on the head by an acorn. The sky is falling, she thought. She was about to run off and warn Goosey Lucy, Ducky Lucky, Henny Penny, and everyone on the farm the sky was falling when out jumped a little red chicken, and she said, "Don't panic, it was just an acorn." So Chicken Little didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa. You did it again. Oh, Papa, I couldn't let that little chicken get all upset over an acorn. Please read one more story and I promise I'll fall asleep. But Chicken, said Papa, we are out of stories. Oh no, Papa, I can't go to sleep without a story. Then, said Papa, yawning, why don't you tell me a story? Me? Tell a story? Said the little red chicken. Okay, Papa, here we go. Bedtime for Papa by Chicken. Once there was a little red chicken who put her papa to bed. She read him 100 stories. She even gave him warm milk, but nothing worked. He stayed wide awake all Papa? Good night, Papa. The end. So, we see why Little Red Chicken interrupted all the time, right? Did you catch her reasons for why she kept interrupting the story? Well, if you remember back, for each story, she would interrupt before Papa could get to the ending. She would speak while he was speaking. And she did that because she wanted to save the characters from getting into trouble or from the danger that they were in. Like in Hansel and Gretel, Little Chicken interrupts and says, "Wait, she's a witch, don't go in." Papa gets so frustrated because she interrupted during the story, and she says that she wanted to keep Hansel and Gretel safe. So she had to stop them from going in. And then in Little Red Riding Hood, she interrupts Papa's story by saying, "Don't talk to strangers," because she wants to warn Little Red Riding Hood that that's not her granny, it's a wolf, right? She says, "But he was a mean old wolf. That's why I had to interrupt." And then in Chicken Little, she stops Papa before he can say the ending and says, "Don't panic, it was just an acorn." And so Chicken Little didn't panic. And Papa says, "Why? Why do you keep interrupting?" And Little Chicken says that she didn't want the characters in the story to get upset. She didn't want them to be in danger. She wanted to warn them away from doing something bad or that might get them in trouble or be unsafe. So she had good reasons in her heart for interrupting. Like, she was just looking out for the characters. But of course, it ruined the story, right? Papa could never finish his stories, and she just didn't go to bed because she kept interrupting him. Luckily, they came up with a good plan, and Little Red Chicken wrote her own bedtime story for her papa. So instead of having to interrupt his story constantly because she didn't like the ending, she just wrote her own story. And that was a good resolution to it, I think, because she got to write the exact story that she wanted to. She didn't have to change the ending, and she put her papa straight to sleep, which was a nice thing, right? Maybe? So, I think it would be a great idea for y'all to write your own story too. It's a great thing to do because sometimes we read books and we don't like the ending, or we wish something else had happened, or we want to warn the characters before they get into trouble. So when you write your own story, you can do that yourself, and you don't have to interrupt another story in order to do it, which is always a great thing. So maybe y'all should write a story this week. I would love to read it. And I will see you tomorrow. Guess what? Tomorrow's field day. Isn't that exciting? I hope you're all excited for it. I know I am. And remember that Coach Brownshield is going to be on a Zoom tomorrow morning at 9:30. So get that link so you can meet us all on there and we can get hyped up for field day because it's going to be great. I'll see you soon.